Hello everyone, welcome back to MAYANK LAWHOLIC. In this video, we will be continuing the MCQs of Indian Contract Act. It is a humble request, please subscribe to our channel. Now let's get started from the question number 176. A contract which is vitiated by undue influence is declared as which one of the following by the Indian Contract Act? Invalid, void, illegal, voidable. Correct answer here is option D, that is voidable. Question number 177. Which among the following elements is not required in the case of undue influence? A. The parties stand in near relation to each other. One party shall have the position of dominance over the other. C. The party standing in a dominating position actually dominates the will of the other. And D. Parties are not necessarily related at all. They can be strangers meeting for the first time. Here in question number 177, it has been asked which of the following is not required in the case of undue influence. Option A here will be the right answer. Question number 178. Which one of the following agreement is induced by undue influence? Option A. A applies to a banker for a loan at a time when there is stringency in the money market. The banker declines to make the loan except at an unusually high rate of interest. A accept the loan on these terms. B. A enforceable by disease or age. A enfeebled by the disease or age is induced by B's influence over him as his medical attendant to agree to pay B an unreasonable sum for his professional service. C. A at the age of 65 years executes a deed of gift in favor of his only grandson, gifting him all his properties to the exclusion of his wife, sons and daughters. D. B. A rich man donates all his properties to a charitable trust, leaving nothing for himself and his family members. In question number 178, correct answer is option B. Question number 179. Which one of the following relations does not come within the undue influence relationship? Option A, doctor and patient. Option B, customer and shopkeeper. Option C, lawyer and client. And option D, master and servant. Correct answer here is option B, that is customer and shopkeeper does not come into within the undue influence relationship. Question number 180. A contract is voidable if it is caused by the concealment of a material fact by someone who is under duty to speak because it is misrepresentation, fraud, under influence, none of the above. Correct answer here is option B, that is fraud. Question number 181. A knows that his horse had a damaged hoof which he filled up in such a way as to defect and sold it to B. This defect was subsequently discovered by B. The fact of A will amount to option A, a false suggestion, active concealment of fact, misrepresentation, mistake. Correct answer here is option B, that is active concealment of fact. Question number 182. A intending to deceive B falsely represents that 500 mounds of indigo are made annually at A's factory and thereby induces B to buy the factory. The contract is voidable at the option of B, not voidable on account of A's misrepresentation, and D voidable at the option of A. Correct answer here is option B, that is voidable at the option of B. Question number 183. Which one of the following does not amount to fraud? Option A, suggestion as a fact of that which is not true by one who does not believe it to be true. Option B, entire concealment of a fact. C, a representation made without knowing it to be false, honestly believing it to be true. And D, a promise made without intention of performing it. Correct answer here is option C, that is a representation made without knowing it to be false, honestly believing it to be true. It does not amount to fraud. Question number 184. Active concealment of fact is associated with coercion, fraud, misrepresentation, mistake. Correct answer here is option B, that is fraud. Question number 185. B says to A, if you do not deny it, I shall assume that the horse is sound. A says nothing. Here, A's silence is equivalent to speech. This illustration is based on section 17, section 18, section 19 and section 20. Correct answer here is option A, that is section 17. Question number 186. A sells by auction to B a horse which A knows to be of unsound. A says nothing to B about the horse unsoundness. Option A, this is not fraud with A. Option B, A plays fraud with B. Option C, A did not tell the truth to B. And option D, A did not follow the ethics. Correct answer here is option A, that is this is not fraud with A. Question number 187. Which one of the following does not amount to fraud? Option A, active concealment of a fact. Option B, a promise made without any intention of performing it. Option C, suggestion as to a fact which is not true by one who does not believe it to be true. And option D, a misrepresentation, a representation made without knowing it to be false, honestly believing it to be true. In question number 187, correct answer is option D. D option does not amount to fraud. Question number 188. A sells by auction to his daughter a horse which A knows to be of unsound and A says nothing about the horse unsoundness. Option A, this is fraud. Option B, this is not a fraud. Option C, this is misrepresentation. And option D, none of these. Correct answer here is option A, that this is a fraud. Question number 189. Mere silence is not fraud unless there is duty to speak. Option B, the silence is deceptive. Option C, there is a change in the circumstance to be brought to the notice of the other party. And option D, all of these. Correct answer here is option D, that is all of these. Question number 190. In which case fraud is committed by silence? Option A, A did not disclose B at the time of selling his car that he had stolen the car. Option B, A did not tell B at the time of selling what about its quality. Option C, A did not let B know that the price of a silver is likely to fall at the time of selling silver to him. Option D, A did not reveal B at the time of sale that the new edition of the book has been published. Correct answer here is option A. Option A is the fraud committed by silence. Question number 191. Consider the following. First, active concealment of fact. Second, promise made without any intention of performing it. Third, breach of duty which gains an advantage to the person committing it. Fourth, inducing mistake as to subject matter. Which one of the above amount to fraud? Here correct answer is option A, that is first and second. Active concealment of fact and promise made without any intention of performing it. Question number 192. When is the inadequacy of the consideration taken into account by a court of law? Options are when the promisor performs his promise. Option B, always at the discretion of the court. C, when the promisor expresses his desire to get the maximum return for his promise. And D, when fraud, coercion or undue influence in the formation of the contract is pleaded. Correct answer here is option D, when fraud, coercion or undue influence in the formation of contract is pleaded. Question number 193. A agrees to sell a horse worth ₹1,000 for ₹10. A's consent to the agreement was freely given. The agreement is voidable, void, contract, illegal. Correct answer here is option C, that is contract. Question number 194. A takes an insurance policy on his life, making a false statement about his health and does not disclose the fact that he has been treated for a serious illness. In this case, which of the following statement is correct? Option A, the contract is void. Option B, the contract is unenforceable. Option C, the contract is voidable. And option D, the contract is unlawful. Correct answer here is option C, that is contract is voidable. Question number 195. Which one of the following is essential of the misrepresentation? Option A, the statement made by the defendant should relate to the material fact. B, the person making statement should not be negligent. C, the person making statement should not believe it to be true. And D, the statement should directly be made to the plaintiff himself and no other. Correct answer here is option A. Question number 196. When the agreement is caused by coercion, fraud or misrepresentation, the agreement is illegal, unenforceable, void, voidable. Correct answer here is option D, that is voidable. Question number 197. Under the Indian Contract Act 1872, which of the following agreement is not void? Option A, contract in which consent has been obtained by fraud. B, a contract in which both parties are under a misrepresentation as to a matter of fact essential to the agreement. C, a contract in restraint of trade. And D, none of the above, that is all the above contracts are void. In question number 197, correct answer is option A, that is contract in which consent has been obtained by fraud. Question number 198. Under section 19 of the Indian Contract Act 1872, the consent caused by coercion is voidable, valid, illegal, none of these. Correct answer here is option A, that is voidable. Question number 199. With reference to fraud and misrepresentation, which of the statement are correct? First, both render the contract voidable. Fraud renders a cause of action in tort for damages. Third, simple representation is also a tort. Select the correct answer using the code given below. And here correct answer is option A, that is first and second, which means that statement first and second are correct. Both render the contract voidable. Fraud renders cause of action in tort for damages. Question number 200. A contract which is formed without the free consent of the parties is void ab initio, void, illegal, voidable at the instance of the party whose consent was not free. Correct answer is option D, voidable at the instance of the party whose consent was not free.